Hey guys, welcome back to the AskDomThat podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 traits of highly successful people. Now, according to the algorithm, they're going to want me to list the traits off one by one and building up to a climax, having you hooked till the end, right? Like giving you the best trait at the end so you can stay the entire time. But I respect your time. And what I want to do is make sure that you come out of here with some value. And the way I'm going to do that is by listing these in the order of importance from 5 down to 1 to me. So at the very least, you're going to start off with what my top 5 things are, with the most important one being what I want you to take out of there. Or number 5 being what's the most important, which I want you to take out of here. This is not the end-all be-all list. There are a lot of great resources, a lot of great books that talk about this. And there are overlaps in conversations that successful people have with what their lists are and what my list is. But what I want you to do is focus on what you take out of this and what you can change to make an immediate impact in your life and in your success. So let's get right into it. What's the number 5 trait that I say you must have and that successful people have, which is the most important trait? Your circle. Who are the people that you are around dictates what you will become. It dictates who you will become. Nothing influences your success more than the circle that you choose to be around. Make sure that you understand that if you want to be a winner, you have to surround yourself with winners. There are few and rare occasions where you're going to be around a bunch of losers, people that don't want it, people that aren't hungry, and you guys are all of a sudden going to succeed together, or you're going to break out for no apparent reason and become successful. You have to realize that if I see you with basketball players every day, and these guys are on the court, they got their shorts under their jeans so that after work they go play some basketball, and you're like, I'm not a great ball player, but I hang around these guys every day. I guarantee you that you will be a better ball player than a guy that talks about wanting to become a ball player but hangs out with these guys that play video games all day, don't make it out to the court. Just because you are around people that are doing something, whatever that is, and if that something is positive, you will. It's like a symbiotic relationship where they get from you and you get from them. Your influence of people is so crucial to your success that is without a doubt the number, in this case, 5 thing. And you have to find a way. If you do nothing else, you have to find a way to surround yourself with people that are where you want to be, do what you want to do, and have what you want to have. That might have to be networking events, free and paid. You have to invest in meeting certain people. That may be just getting outside of your comfort and your circle. And I can almost guarantee you that it's not going to be the people that you grew up with, right? Because very rarely does that happen. Those people that you grew up with were placed there simply out of circumstance. You guys were born in the same locality. Your parents decided to move to the same locality. You didn't have much say in whom those people were and who the people you grew up with were. Even the people at work. When you get a job, you didn't dictate who else gets hired. So if you're work besties and you guys become friends, but they don't really do a great job. They're good friends, but they don't do a great job even at work. They're not aspiring to do what you guys have collectively talked about, what you guys are dreaming of doing. Then you need to figure out a way to get a better circle. Hands down. If you show me that you are around losers, then it is only a matter of time that you will realize that you are a loser. Number 4 trait, this is actually outside of being in a good circle. You have to be able to read a book. And I don't care what book it is at this point. We have gotten so used to getting tidbits of information in 1 minute increments, in 5 minute YouTube videos. And you guys, I'll give you credit, because if you're watching and listening to this, you're in the top of the spectrum where you're at least listening to a 20-30 minute podcast or informative information. You're not wasting your time just consuming tidbits, bite size for babies almost style of information. You can't handle too much information, so we're going to condense it to 1 minute and 30 seconds for you, and that's it. No more context. You're never going to learn anything substantial on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You're going to learn key concepts that you're going to say, hey, I got to go research that. I got to do more investigation on that. That guy might have mentioned something that's worth knowing. But where are you going to find the rest of the information? It's going to be in a book. Or an article, some sort of literature. And yes, YouTube, second largest search engine. It's amazing. I think YouTube's a great resource. I think podcasts like these and YouTube videos like these are a great reference. But reading ignites your brain and challenges your brain differently than podcasts and YouTube. Reading is an active process of learning. Your brain is utilizing what it's seeing. It has to translate it. It has to make it make sense. It's using more processes to read a book, and it's more discipline than watching a video. Watching a video, listening to a podcast is a passive form of learning. Reading, writing for that matter, is a active form of learning. And I don't care what books you start off with. These business books, I mean, the only one that I really can recommend, I'll do a whole other series on books that I recommend, but How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is a great book. I mean, the title might not really appeal to some people, but I thought that was a great book. And obviously, it's one of the top self-improvement books in the world for a reason. And another one, not very, very familiar with this one, but love the concept, and I've loved what I've seen and read so far. Start with Why by, I think it's Simon Sinek. Start with Why. That great concepts. Reading allows you to actively start learning. Actively. And it challenges you, because how many people can sit down, read a book from front to back? That takes discipline. You'll be surprised how many people have not read a book in the last year, 2 years. There's some 3 to 5 years. They don't understand that you have to challenge yourself to be able to sit down and do something that you know you have to do but don't particularly want to. So like when a child has to eat their vegetables before they can go out and play. And now as an adult, you have to read this book before you can go on social media and Instagram and scroll for hours. But people can't figure that out. But they think they can run a multi-million-dollar business. Yeah, right. Challenge yourself. I mean, just have to understand that discipline is a key element to any success. And somebody that doesn't have discipline, they're going to fail. God forbid that they don't have discipline and they're around the circle of people that don't have discipline. So now you've already failed at the first 2 traits. Number 3, which really plays along with reading a book, is delayed gratification. Being okay and understanding, not even just being okay, but understanding that delayed gratification is going to take you further than instant gratification. Of course, a lot of people are familiar with the Stanford marshmallow research project, where in 1970s they took a group of kids, varying ages, but they're young kids. They put a marshmallow in front of them. And they said, hey, look, you can eat this marshmallow, but I got to head out. We're going to be back in 15 minutes. If you don't eat this marshmallow within 15 minutes, when we come back, we're going to give you 2 marshmallows instead. You're going to double your reward for waiting 15 minutes. Well, as you would think, some kids, as soon as the researchers left, they just ate up that marshmallow. No care in the world. Then you had some kids that started fidgeting. They try to wait. They try to wait it out. They were, swiveling in their chairs, fidgeting. They were looking at the marshmallow. They knew that they should wait, but their body, they had a compulsion not to. And then they ate it. Okay, they failed. Then there were a few, that waited the entire 15 minutes. The researchers came back. They got 2 marshmallows. And the study did various things. The most important thing about that study is that they followed up with these kids for the course of 40 years. And the kids that did not eat the marshmallows, the young adults, and then subsequently they became adults, that did not eat the marshmallows as kids, that were able to really encompass delayed gratification, overall did better in life in all measurable aspects. From SATs in school to their personal, familial life, they did better, even as young kids. It's a trait that you carry on. So you have to understand that anything worth having is going to take time. If you want something right away, get rich quick, 30 days, lose fat in 30 days. If you're 35 years old and you're trying to lose fat in 30 days, I can guarantee you've been fat all your life. I can guarantee it. Because nothing worth having comes quickly. You have to work for it. You have to wait. And eventually, and over time, it's going to come. But with delayed gratification, you start to understand distractions around us. Social media, for example. These notifications that come up. Social media, how many of us, and I'm using us because I've been guilty of it, have posted something. Then a couple minutes later, just 2 minutes later, we're checking who liked it. The stats on it. How many views we got? That's really instant gratification. We want somebody to tell us that we did good right away. And more so, how many people have started a project and a week into it, a month into it, it's not going how they want. A business, it's not going, they're not getting sales, so they want to quit. But, with everything else that is not for you, it's for your boss or for the company you work with. When it comes to them, you know that you have to wait for you to get that raise. You have to work hard for you to get that promotion. Nobody starts a job, no sane person starts a job and 30 days into it and say, how come I don't got that raise? How come I haven't gotten that promotion? But when it comes to your success, the things that you do, whether that's your personal health, your family situation, financials, you want it quick. You want it quick. And for the love of God, turn off notifications on your phone. Notifications on your phone are there to distract you. They're there to notify you that you're being gratified. There's a ding, ding. They're trying to gratify you. They're associating those rings and vibrations with something gratifying. Hey, somebody liked your photo. Hey, what difference? Why do you need to know that right now? You're busy. You're working. So why do you need to keep, as soon as ding, you want to check it? Why? What will that change? The most important notifications come in the form of email, phone calls, or some text messages. Maybe you have those on. But there has not been a social media notification that has drastically changed anything that I have going on. None. It hasn't happened. And I've had thousands of them. So why do I feel the impulse to look at these notifications? Because I want the gratification of what it's going to tell me. So I've turned off notifications when it comes to social media and all these other apps on my phone. They all want your attention. You have to understand that delayed gratification is a huge part of you becoming successful. And if you can't handle that, you're going to always keep starting over. You're going to start something. Oh, that didn't work. 30 days. I gave it a try. It didn't work. I'm going to try this now. Yeah. Why don't you work on it for a year, 2 years, 3 years? I'm going to use this example again. If you're in your mid-30s and you've been broke all your life, what's the rush to become rich in 1 year? You've been broke all your life. Clearly, you haven't figured it out in 30-something years. So if I tell you, hey, give it 2 years, 3 years before you start seeing huge success, or magnitudes of orders difference, because huge might be relative. But you'll see the snowball growing. The wheel is going to keep moving, but you need to be okay with delayed gratification. The number 2 trait, and this one's near and dear to me, is to take action and take risks. I get frustrated with social media because I speak with a lot of people that get my advice, that get my input. Dom, my gosh, thank you. We sit down, we go over whether it's a business plan, an investment, some numbers, or concepts, or just talk. They come out of there refreshed. And there's some people that I know who are going to take action. I'm like, they're going to leave out of here and they're going to do that. And I know that I'm going to see them become successful. And then there's some that I'm going to see on another scenario that still haven't done it. You can't keep sitting on the sideline and expect success. When it comes to your success, it is about you taking action. I'm not saying when it comes to you becoming rich, because you could have been born rich. I've met plenty of people that are born rich. That doesn't mean that they're successful to me. I met plenty of people that are successful that aren't rich. You have to define your own success. But all of them, all the successful people have stepped off the bench and played the game. You cannot keep just watching and learning and listening to podcasts and reading books and getting in the right networks and doing the stuff that you need to, waiting and never doing. You need to stop talking and start doing. Get away from your computer, put your phone down, stop talking about what you want to do and how the time is coming up. This isn't a good time. This is here, that's there. Just start doing something. If you've done the research, if you understand the game plan, you put a tangible plan in place, then you have to step in the game and play. Stop talking to me about the same idea that you had for 3-4 years. And it's just never been the right time. Guess what? Tomorrow's not going to be the right day. Next year ain't going to be the right year. Small wins equals big success. Small wins equals big success. So step in, take some small wins. And the principle of delayed gratification, you're going to look back and you're going to say, well, I've become successful. It's happened with me. That's my story. I was not making a lot of money with my businesses and my investments. I honestly was just moving along. Sometimes I felt like I was moving in place, but I knew my feet were moving. But one day, I looked at my net worth and I said, wow, you're doing pretty well. One day, I spoke with a financial expert. We were talking, and I'm telling them my frustrations, and I'm not doing this, I'm not doing. We looked, we audited everything, and he said, Dom, you're rich. That was the first time that I really internalized that. They're like, no, you're rich. Not, and I'm not talking spiritually, family, health. No, those too. But financially, you're rich. And that was all because I stopped talking and started doing. What's the number one point? What's the number one trait if you want to become successful? Self-awareness and understanding. All this doesn't matter if you don't have an awareness of self. You have to ask yourself, why are you reaching for what you are reaching for? Why are you reaching for these things that you are reaching for? How do you define success? What do you value? These are roadmap questions. You know that the journey to success is going to be a long one. You know that it's going to be hard. But you need to know where you're going. You might not know exactly how you're going to get there, but what is success? What is this? Is it a place? Is it a number? When people tell me they want to be successful in business, I'm like, what does that mean? Is that a number? I had a number when it came to success in business, and that was a high number, very high. Then there was a point where I said, well, success in business means that I have enough passive income that I can comfortably afford to travel with my wife and I and my family, because I love traveling with friends and family. So if I can help afford that, I'll be happy. We can live in the places that we want to live. It doesn't have to be Beverly Hills. I don't need a New York penthouse condo, but we want to live where we want to live. And we don't want to stress about the simple pleasures of life. I'm not even talking about the basic necessities of life. Obviously, those have to get covered. You're not successful if you can't feed yourself and your family. You're not successful if you can't shelter and protect yourself and your family. That's not even, that's just basic survival. You shouldn't be talking about retiring early if that's where you're at. But how do you define success? It's no longer a number for me. It's a lifestyle. It's something that I know for me. If I reach here, if I'm able to wake up and do the things I love, one of them talking to you guys in this form and fashion, one of them being creative, doing the art projects that I have, supporting artists, supporting education. That's how I'm defining success. Because if I have to be in my office 9 to 5, then I have to commute home and I can't work on the things that I love because I'm too busy trying to now hustle and do this and that. And by the time everything's said and done, I don't get a chance to really help people advance in their life. I don't get a chance to spend the quality time with my family that I want. I don't get a chance to really get into a philanthropic mode of giving back, of being something greater than myself. Then I'm not successful. It doesn't matter how much money I'm making. There are billionaires out there that are rich monetarily, but not successful. And so don't look at money as your metric for success. That's a dumb barometer. People go bankrupt every other day. But there's somebody out there that doesn't have a ton of money, but they have the life that they've envisioned by applying these 5 principles. And if you do apply them, if you really strive for these, stop playing. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying that you're working hard, but you're not. You're scrolling, doom scrolling. You're not creating anything of value. You're not being a positive impact in your circle. But you want these things. Yeah, right. But it's never too late to really put the foot on the pedal and do it. I'll talk to you guys next time.